This is going to save you so much money. Check it out. WattCycle hooked us up and made a plug-and-play adapter that expands any EcoFlow power station with the XT150 connector with very inexpensive third-party expansion batteries. So I just expanded this Delta 2 10 times with these two server rack batteries and this inexpensive wiring harness. You can see this space heater is pulling 1400 watts from the Delta, and we're pulling 13.5 amps from the top battery and 13.5 amps from the bottom battery. So the cable ships to you just like this. We've got the star of the show, this really nice connector right here with the proper pins and everything that you need to make the power station recognize it. Mine came with a little cable tie, which is awesome. I don't know if you'll be able to read the writing, but it is 8 gauge wire, 200 degrees Celsius. And then on the ends here, we've got just some nice ring terminals. And mine shipped with this nice little cover right here, so that way you don't run the risk of shorting something out on accident. And then from the end of the connector right there, all the way down here to the terminals, we're about 41.5 inches. Let me show you how to hook this up, and then I want to show you one hack that could actually vastly improve the setup. So because this plug physically separates the terminals in there, there's no way to short this out, or at least it's very difficult to. It's quite easy to short these out, which is why they include this little heat shrink on the end of this. But hands down, the safest, best way to connect this up is to connect these terminals to your server rack batteries first, or any 48 volt battery, and then plug it into your power station. All right, so we've got those connected up, positive to positive, negative to negative. Then we're able to take this, plug it into the EcoFlow. I heard the little relay click in there. And then we're ready to go. The one other thing you want to check prior to flipping any breakers to complete the circuit between the two units is you want to just make sure that your battery is very close to the same state of charge. So you can see these batteries here are 98%. The bottom one here is 98%. And you can see the EcoFlow is 95. That should be close enough to not have a giant surge of power between the two. So let's go ahead and energize it. 3, 2, 1. I got this electric space heater running. And you can see we're pulling about 1500 watts out of the EcoFlow. And if we come over here, we can see we're pulling 13.7 amps and 13.7 amps out of the two WattCycle batteries. So this connector works beautifully. And the awesome thing is literally plug and play. But a common question that everybody wants to know is, can this EcoFlow recharge the batteries? And the answer is a resounding yes. I've got it plugged into another power station right now, AC wall charging. You can see we're about 1200 watts, and you can see we're net positive 8.7 amps going into one battery and 8.9 amps going into another battery. So yes, this will recharge these from AC wall power, as well as if you connect solar to the EcoFlow. But you will still be limited by the input limit on the EcoFlow. So in this case, the EcoFlow Delta 2 has a 500 watt solar limit. But this setup basically removes that limit from you simply because of the third-party external battery. You can actually expand your solar capability. So go ahead and hook 500 watts up to your EcoFlow, or however much it will accept, and then you can actually add external 48 volt MPPT solar charge controllers just to the terminals on your battery, or a bus bar or something like that. And now, all of a sudden, you could add like 2000 watts of extra solar power just by adding one of these charge controllers to the mix. So this cable just completely opens up possibilities for you with EcoFlow power stations. So there's one important safety aspect of this that you need to be sure and keep in mind. If you're going to pair this with these awesome WattCycle server rack batteries, which I would highly recommend, these are some of the nicest server rack batteries I've ever tested for one of the best prices out there on the market right now. These particular ones have a 125 amp circuit breaker with technically a 100 amp BMS that's supposed to, shut down prior to those tripping. Regardless, 8 gauge cable with a 200 degrees Celsius insulation value is really only good for around like 80 amps max, and that's really pushing it. And so you have the potential to overload this wire if there is a dead short inside one of these units and there was nothing that could trip off. If you pair up extra capacity of power, like I'm doing right here with these server rack batteries, and then let's say we had a short and I had 100 amps going through this cable, each of these batteries is only going to see 50 amps. So they're just going to keep dumping the power because it's within spec, and you could have a serious melt or fire issue. The easiest way to fix that would be to simply just get a fuse and add it to the end of the wire, and then, bolt it to the positive terminal of your 48-volt battery. However, I'm going to show you a different approach that I personally like, because not only does it give you overcurrent protection, but it also allows you to actually have a physical switch to turn the power off, so you don't run the risk of shorting these terminals at all, at least so long as the switch is off. You just need a few little tools and a DC rated circuit breaker that's 40 amps. I will have links to everything down in the description so you can easily source it. You're going to take some wire cutters, and we're going to cut this wire. I'm going to go about halfway, so just like that. And now I'm going to strip all 4 ends. And in conjunction with stripping the ends, I've got this little kit right here. It's a little ferrule kit. Super inexpensive, but super handy. I use it all the time for different projects. Anyway, it comes with these really nice 8-gauge ferrules. This is really fine stranded wire, so it's good to strip the wire and then immediately get these ferrules on, so that you don't lose a bunch of strands as you're trying to put the ferrules on. So just like that, you can see I've got the ferrules on. And this kit, like I said, comes with this nice tool. And crimping them is insanely easy. All you got to do is just stick the ferrule into the tool, squeeze, it ratchets down till it stops, and you've got a crimp. So let's do this again. Ferrule in, squeeze, and you've got an excellent crimp. Next, we have this DC rated circuit breaker. It's a 40 amp model. It's 2 poles, so we've got 2 ports. So we're just going to put red on one side, black on the other. And just like that, we have now protected this cable with overcurrent protection. Also nice because this can also somewhat act as a switch. So you can keep this off, and that will just add extra insurance to you never shorting these ends. If for some reason you forget to hook those up first, you happen to plug that into the power station and those 2 ends touch. If this is disconnected, you won't have a short there like you would if the cable were all together without this. I mean, on a difficulty level for DIY, adding this breaker is a piece of cake. So if you have any of the 2nd generation or beyond EcoFlows, the original series, especially like the Delta Max power station that has the NMC battery chemistry, you do not want to do this unless you can find a matching battery chemistry. So that's absolutely critical. But the EcoFlow Delta 2, which I have right here, the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max, the Delta 3 series, and then like the 2 kilowatt equivalent, Delta 3 Max or whatever. I mean, I can't keep track of all their naming stuff. It's kind of confusing. Anything that has a lithium iron phosphate battery that's 51.2 volts is compatible with this setup. So the way to find out if your power station is compatible is to come and find the tag on the bottom. And if you can see, you may not be able to see, but right here where my finger is pointing, it says the battery capacity in watt hours, and then it says 51.2 volts. And we know that this battery has a lithium iron phosphate chemistry, or LIFE PO4 is the abbreviation. So if your power station matches that criteria, it's compatible with this external battery hack. And nice WattCycle has just made it stupid easy for you to connect. Plug and play. Let me show you something important when it comes to the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. See how we've got 2 external battery connection ports? If you look closely, they're actually labeled. We have extra battery port number 1 and extra battery port number 2. So I've got this WattCycle adapter plugged into port 1, and I have my multimeter probes on the end right here. When I flip this switch, you're going to notice that we have voltage. So this works in port 1. Watch what happens when I connect it to port 2. So now I'm connected to port number 2. Still got my multimeter hooked up here. Let's throw the switch, and you'll notice that we have no voltage. The reason is because the pinout for these small communication ports on the inside is different for port number 2 as opposed to port number 1. So if you're using a Delta 2 Max or the equivalent of that with the 2 battery ports, be sure that you only use this adapter in port number 1, since that is how this is pinned out. Now, a lot of you want to know about the EcoFlow Delta Pro series. My understanding is those are compatible, however, they require a different kind of plug. So maybe I can work with WattCycle on that, and we could create a solution for you Delta Pro people out there. So be sure and leave a comment down below if you have a Delta Pro and you would be interested in a plug-and-play solution just like this from WattCycle for your Delta Pros. That way we can kind of judge your level of interest and see if it's worth investing the R&D into it. This is not the first time I've hacked EcoFlow power stations. I'm going to be sure and leave links to all the videos I've done hacking them, because There's one in particular that a lot of you may be interested in where I still preserve use of your OEM expansion batteries, because right now this solution here basically nukes you being able to plug another one of your external batteries in. Now this is obviously the better way to go, but there's a way that you can actually do this still if you're willing to do just a little more DIY and actually still utilize the expansion battery. So I'm going to have links to this wiring cable from WattCycle. I'm also going to have links to their server rack batteries. Check it out. I have a coupon code for those as well that should save you a few bucks. So be sure and take advantage of that. You really can't beat these for the build quality they have. The screen is hands down the nicest screen I've ever used on a server rack battery. I'll be sure and leave a link to my full review and teardown and stuff of these batteries so you can see them more in depth as well. And then, like I said, I'll have links to the parts and pieces that you can use to fabricate the circuit breaker yourself, so you have those resources as well. And be sure and let me know down in the comments what you think of this. Is this something you're going to take advantage of? I think it's a no-brainer if you own a EcoFlow power station. It's all thanks to you and the channel that we actually have this from WattCycle. If you go back and watch my original review video of these batteries, it's actually one of the first few videos where I demonstrated hacking the EcoFlow power station. And WattCycle saw that and saw that there was something they could do to help my community and you guys, and the little adapter here was born. And now as a result, this should help a tremendous number of you in your quest to spreading your money further and making your power stations all the more functional. So if you appreciate this kind of stuff, please, please, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hype. You have no idea how big of an impact that makes in the YouTube algorithm for small channels like mine. And that allows me to have the excitement and motivation to continue to do this, which could end up benefiting you, something like this right here, that you otherwise wouldn't have had. So please do those 5 things. If you have any questions or need any help with anything, I've got links down in the description for a one-on-one video consultation, as well as a place where you can submit a question that will for sure be answered by me. So take advantage of those. Everyone stay safe, and we'll catch you all next time.